Hey Canada, with the Quebec elections going down tonight, I'm mixing up our regularly scheduled programming to throw a curveball your way. I'm bringing you Anchorman Quebec from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tonight, I'm going live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and we're gonna be talking about the elections, what it means for the future of Canada and Quebec. I'm gonna have guest speakers, and if you're in Quebec, don't forget to vote. It's important to vote. I'll see you tonight. Oh man, this too? All right, we're doing like a whole theme tonight, eh? Hey Canada, with the Quebec elections going down tonight, I'm mixing up our regularly scheduled programming to throw a curveball your way. I'm bringing you Anchorman Quebec from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tonight, I'm going live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and we're gonna be talking about the elections, what it means for the future of Canada and Quebec. I'm gonna have guest speakers, and if you're in Quebec, don't forget to vote. It's important to vote. I'll see you tonight. Oh man, this too? All right, we're doing like a whole theme tonight, eh? Oh shit! What's up, Canada? Yeah, so as per what I mentioned earlier, tonight is a very special evening. We're talking about the Quebec elections. We're taking a break from Canada to talk about Quebec because some shit is going down.
A lot of shit's going down.
This is my buddy Vince.
Hi, guys.
Introduce yourself, because I feel like it'd be weird if I just started talking and you just... Who are you, Vince?
Hi, my name is Vince. I'm from, I live in Montreal. I'm an avid politics guy.
There you go.
Love the elections. Been watching them all the way since the beginning.
Since you were a baby?
Yeah, late August. But I've been following the politics for a while, seen the Liberals for 15 years. A little PQ or anything like that I've been following, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Tonight's a big decision.
It is.
First time sovereignty's not even on the table.
In a weird way.
The national question is okay, so we'll see what happens.
For now, knock on plastic.
Yes, plastic.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. I didn't understand how weird this election was for... I mean, I don't know. I feel like in Canada we have this thing where, I mean, outside of Quebec, let's say, it feels like there's never a big enough impact to compare to the U.S., right? And it feels like it never really matters as much. But this year, it actually apparently shit could actually change in Quebec, and it could have repercussions for Canada too. So here, I'm just to give you guys a context before we launch into platforms and like who's who. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of each of the main 4 candidates, just to give you an idea of who we're talking about and what their deal is, because I feel like most people, myself included, you'll walk down the street, you'll see a picture, and that's all I have. That's all the information I have, right? There's the woman with the white hair, there's the dude with the beard, I don't know, you know? So...
to add on to that, too, on the posters, have you noticed there's a lot of graffitis?
Yeah.
Is it the real face, or is it people just putting stuff on?
It's for sure
like,
people putting on it. But like if there's a really bad graffiti, then I feel like that automatically like alters the way you see that person, even though it's not really fair.
It's not fair. It could be really negative. I saw people putting mustaches everywhere. Teeth problems. Who knows?
That's and a dick once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. But that is not the best thing.
It's not
to remember.
So I'm going to run you guys through the 4 main candidates. First up, I have Manon Massé. Can we pull up a picture of Madame Massé?
Please.
S'il vous plaît. So she was born in Estrie, which is in the Région. We're going to talk a lot about the Région tonight. And the Région is basically the area outside of Montreal spreading out into Quebec. There's a lot of area around there. She was elected to the National Assembly of Quebec. And she's a noted feminist and social justice activist in Montreal. So she's had a lot of experience standing up for feminism and women. She co-organized the Marche mondiale des femmes contre la pauvreté et la violence, so a march sort of advocating for the struggles that women have to go through for poverty and violence. She was also the Quebec Solidaire's first candidate back in 2006. I didn't even know.
I didn't know 2006.
They were around
in
2006, which is pretty crazy. 12
something
years.
new every day.
I'm saying. Well, and she was elected to the Quebec Solidaire's leadership with her co-speaker or co-candidate, Gabrielle Nadeau-Dubois, which people remember from
the Red Square
a couple years ago, the Red Square movement in Quebec. So it was a big thing. Oh my god! You know, if you protested, you exercised your right, and good for you. But holy shit, was it terrible for traffic? Even if you were just walking, it was such a thing. Next up, we have Philippe Couillard, who is our buddy with the Liberals, and who's been running the show for a while now. He was also born in Montreal. He's got a degree in neurosurgery from Université de Montréal,
which is very impressive.
Crazy. Former university professor and a trained neurosurgeon. He was the head of neurosurgery at a hospital in Montreal for 3 years, the head, and then he practiced neurosurgery in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
4 years.
Wow.
Which I feel like I never would have assumed that. He was the Liberal Party's Minister of Health for 5 years, and he did pretty good. He has a good track record. And in 2008, he retired, but he came back in 2012 because he felt that he needed to serve the people.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of I wasn't able to find like a little quote like that for the other people, so it's a little like slanted, but it's kind of cute.
Yes, very cute.
You know, he could have just retired.
Yeah, just retired.
Chilled,
but instead he wanted to go back. Wanted to make a difference.
By the way, in case you haven't noticed, we're drinking Labatt Blue Dry. It's a classic in Quebec, and so just, you know, supporting the whole theme tonight. Remember that lady?
Oh, yes.
There we go. Next up,
good old Pauline Marois.
Good old Pauline.
Oh, man. The good times. The good days.
Hashtag TBT. No. Next up, we have Jean-Francois Lisée. Can we get our buddy here? He is from the Parti Québécois.
Yeah.
He was born in Thetford Mines.
Thetford Mines,
yes. Quebec.
Which is where, that's like near Quebec City, I think. Yeah.
And he's got a certificate in laws, just in all of the laws from UDM. He's got a master's in communications from Université de Québec à Montréal.
Wow.
He's got a degree in journalism from Paris.
Paris?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
And in 1994, he was a special advisor to the Quebec Premier at the time. And in 1995... Oh, right. So he was an important part of the strategy that formed the referendum in 1995.
Wow.
Which is really interesting because I think a lot of their platform involves separation, but not right away.
Yes. Separation is off the table.
No, but it's in there. But it's not there right away.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
like, it's a second date option.
Yes.
First date, we're just going to talk. Second date, and our last one, number
Who's
4.
the most interesting one?
François Legault is the final dude here. You say he's the most interesting.
In a business aspect,
I kind of agree, and I'm only saying this based on literally trying to be a little objective. Oh, we're saying here, you guys want to move the camera a little bit?
Oh,
we're getting
camera.
direction here.
Thanks, guys, for helping us out. I would call him like the Donald Trump of the election,
but almost in a positive way. Though.
Yes, exactly.
Because I was thinking the same thing. Because so here's the outline of his life, right? Born in Montreal in Saint Anne de Bellevue.
Okay.
He got a master's in business from HEC in Montreal.
Yeah.
He became a chartered accountant, and in 1997 he co-founded Air Transit was the CEO.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Served as the Minister of Education and then the Minister of Health under Quebec's Premier at the time, under the PQ though, which is kind of interesting.
Yes, with Lucien Bouchard.
Yes.
Yes.
And then that shifted. And then in 2008, he retired. He pulled a couillard.
Yeah.
And then in 2011, he came back and he co-founded the CAQ. The Coalition for the Future of Quebec is essentially their slogan, right? And his whole thing is that he believes in Quebec's values,
Yep.
but not talking about separation, not talking about sovereignty.
Yeah, I think he was really upset with the whole sovereignty question.
Yeah.
He thought everyone was focused about the sovereignty question, and people should focus more on helping Quebec.
Yep.
Quebec was falling apart at
Yep.
one point. A lot of protests, a lot of everything. So
Yep.
he wanted to focus on the economy first and sovereignty second. Which
And
is,
I think he even cited it as a bit of a distraction as well.
yeah, a distraction
From actually taking care of the main things that could make Quebec better.
But he's still, who knows what
Yeah.
he thinks, man.
But he was with the PQ for a very long time.
Exactly. There was rumor that he was a minister of finance.
Yeah.
Okay, with Lucien Bouchard, he created a hypothetical budget for if Quebec separated.
Really?
So he knows the stuff. He doesn't want to advertise it, but we don't know what he wants.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we'll see what
That's
happens.
that's kind of ominous right there. But yeah, so
he's got it in the back of his mind, I think. You know.
those are the 4 main candidates that are going on right now. And before we dive into the thing, I just want to talk about the polls right now. Just to
Okay.
give you an idea, can we pull up a little shindig here?
Let's see what's going
we
on.
We have a little special thing going on here. Every time I'm gonna look at the polls, you wanna check it out. So we're gonna have this lined up now. Right now, the Liberals are leading right now.
Oh
Really?
wow!
Oh.
Okay.
The Liberals are
Right.
leading right now. Let me do a little quick refresh here, but
That's
let's see,
interesting
let's
that
see.
the Liberals are leading right away. I don't think my prediction, again, I might be wrong. We're going to get a minority government.
Okay.
I think the Liberals will pull through,
okay.
but and then the CAQ will be second.
Parti Québécois is second right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa!
Who's third?
Predictions need to stop.
The CAQ is third. No, but it's good though. The CAQ is third. But I mean, it's still super early, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'd be a little worried. François, when he first started, was
Yeah.
pulled first by a mile.
Yeah.
But he stumbled a lot on questions on immigration. There was a little controversy. Did you see what his wife said?
No.
His wife, she doesn't like Trudeau. I don't know why. She said that he's a little pop star.
Really?
Yeah, she said that Legault wouldn't help him, and that's not good for
No,
Quebec.
that's
we
not
need
a good
Canada
image.
to help each other. So
You gotta be symbiotic, even if you don't like each other.
exactly. So it was interesting. The wife saying that.
That's
was
one
just
thing I learned
recently.
from Game of Thrones. You gotta
Game of Thrones.
save face there.
Yeah,
All right, so you're a numbers guy. I feel like you sort of can
I love numbers.
wrap your head. Do you really? I wish I did. All right, so I'm gonna run through each of the main candidates' platforms
Okay.
for economy, and I'm just gonna bounce some ideas off you and see what sounds good, what sounds crazy, and where do you see this going? So
Bounce me.
First up, you have the Liberals.
Yes, Philippe Couillard.
Yes. Now, a lot of it is keeping the status quo, so maintaining taxes the way they are. A lot of his, I'm not going to dive too much into the immigration just yet, but a lot of what he's talking about is maintaining the amount of immigrants that are coming in, but also making sure that they all have jobs.
Yeah.
He wants to integrate and retain as many as possible.
Yeah.
He wants to change the rule that entices old people to keep working longer. So he wants to make it attractive for people to work longer into their life, which I think makes sense just because people are starting to retire, and I don't know if we have enough people to maintain. So it's an interesting concept that I didn't know anyone was throwing out there. I feel like that's sort of a necessary.
It's a must. So immigration, I think, is one of the biggest topic.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. I think Philippe Couillard realizes that Quebec society is old. They're aging.
Yeah.
We have low birth rate.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
No.
And we need good jobs. So I think he's going to increase a bit immigration.
Right.
Versus Legault wants to reduce immigration.
Yeah.
Our economy, like, we have the lowest unemployment rates, so we definitely need more people to help us with the jobs.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. They disagree about it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I think it's almost all the, everyone running against Couillard are pretty much, they want to reduce or limit.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting platform points that they have, and I couldn't believe some of them.
Yeah. So, well, right now I think we're accepting 50,000 a year of immigration.
Yeah.
Couillard wants to increase it to about 60,000.
Yeah.
Legault wants to decrease it to 40,000.
Yeah.
But good luck telling Trudeau, hey, we're only taking 40,000. How is our economy going to keep rolling?
Yeah.
So it's
no, and I fully agree. And so one thing they're trying, which is also interesting, is, and I mean, it's interesting I say because it's kind of almost cute.
Okay.
They want to pay Quebecers $150 to $300 for each kid that they have, but annually. What's $300 a year? What's that gonna do? What's that gonna do for an extra kid?
That's like Philippe Couillard, who said that it costs us $70. You can
a
family could live with $75.
Yeah, that's.
What is he talking
there's
about?
No way. There's no way.
You're gonna have to eat just pasta all day and potatoes.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not a
which
thing.
is gonna help our healthcare system. I think healthier people.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No. Yeah.
We'll
so that's the Liberals. Now the CAQ. They want to export hydroelectricity to even more provinces.
Which is smart.
Super smart.
I totally agree with that.
Super smart.
We are very uncompetitive compared all of Canadian companies against U.S.
Yeah.
We make a lot of hydro. Why don't we export it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
But honestly,
and that's what I like about Legault. I find him more common sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a Mr. Economy guy.
Yeah.
He knows how to create jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing is he thinks that meaning that the government's going to be more efficient, it's going to save a lot of money. I don't know how efficient you can get, you know what I mean? We don't want to be bare bones, but so we'll see.
Yep. I mean, we have it, right? Reduce red tape to entrepreneurs and self-employed.
I love that.
Right? And
exactly.
that's just been like such an issue in Quebec.
For
Such
sure.
an issue in Quebec.
Well, I mean, starting a business is pretty hard in Quebec versus other provinces, so it's really hard to say.
But it's also kept people from coming here. They'll go somewhere else.
Exactly.
It's just not economically viable.
Well, just talking about it, we have some of the best schools in all of Canada.
Yeah.
Why don't all the students that learn from here aren't allowed to stay here? That makes no sense.
It's not even why do they leave? It's such a thing that
they want to stay.
Get the education.
I really think they want to stay.
Yeah.
But you got to learn your French, and so most people don't know the French. But we're losing a lot of good, talented people, and they're going back to their other provinces.
And what does that lose us also? A lot of money.
Exactly.
A lot of talent can bring in a lot of money.
Yeah, but they're all worried about the language.
For sure.
And the values.
For sure.
Which I get that.
I get it.
But there's a middle.
There is a middle ground.
Yeah.
That needs to be compromised. They also want to initiate 300,000 green jobs.
Oh, wow.
Wind turbines and organic agriculture, which is interesting.
That's the future. Unlike the person down south, Mr. Trump, who believes in clean coal. I still don't know what that is.
It's a myth.
I think our economy, should be focused on the environment. Wind, solar, hydro, nuclear, all that stuff.
No.
Which is interesting about the Quebec City now, which we'll talk about later, what their plan is. But
so, all I really have here is that they want a guaranteed minimum income in the Quebec City.
Oof, I've read some pretty scary stuff.
Tell me.
I heard that they want to.
Can I say one thing? I feel like they've been out of everyone. They've been the hardest for me to actually find
what their actual policies are. I don't know why.
Well, the weirdest thing is Quebec Solidaire doesn't have a leader. They have two spokespersons. Right. Our favorite Gabriel guy, and then Manon.
What do you think that does, having two leaders instead of one? Do you think that...
Does a company do well with two leaders?
That's a thing.
Yeah,
that's a thing. No, but that's a thing, right?
I always agree there's always got to be one leader, one person that makes the directions. What if someone doesn't agree with something? It's going to destroy the party.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary because right now they only had 3 seats, and they're probably going to get a lot more seats, which is okay, but they might be a big part of forming a coalition. So we'll see what happens. But I was reading about them. They want to nationalize banking sector.
Right, you were saying that.
And the natural resource sector.
Really?
I don't know, man. Companies will
What would that look like if they did that?
A lot of scared people. Companies would be very scared because Quebec would take ownership in these companies. Okay. And we all know that the government does really well in running companies. Yeah. I'm being sarcastic. So I don't know how that's going to go with that. They do want to add free tuition, which would be great, and free public transport, which would be great. Yeah. But I don't think they know what a budget is.
So I'm just going to dive into transport real quick just because you mentioned it.
Perfect.
And it's ridiculous.
Listen, like...
I'm just specifically about Quebec. You know what? Let's just real quick because we're talking about budgets here. And
I love
They want not only to cut transit fares in half.
Wow.
They want to outlaw the sale of gas-powered vehicles by 2030.
I saw that, which is interesting.
They want to outlaw the use, not just the sale, but the use of gas-powered cars by 2050. Which seems excessive, right? And this is my favorite one.
Okay, I'm listening.
They want to create 38 new metro stations.
38 in Montreal?
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna cost a fortune.
38.
Yeah. So with all the companies leaving, I wonder who's gonna pay for it.
That's my question, and especially if you're cutting the transit fares in half.
But come on, show me some plans.
That's my wonder, And again, this is. I wish we had somebody from their riding to come here and talk to us and stuff because, objectively, based on the information that I'm presented with here, it seems like Legault is trying to be more business sense, and they're making these big promises that I don't know that they know they can keep.
For sure they can't keep. There's no way. They don't have the money to do that.
38 metro stations?
That's going to put a huge hole in their budget.
That's going to be a new
I'm sure Quebec City's going to be happy and Val d'Or.
Because it's going to go,
So I don't know what's going to happen there. But it's interesting. Ban of gasoline cars. I think that's going to happen in the future.
For sure.
The government banning, I don't know about that one, I know in California they banned or they made some regulations and it drove the car companies crazy because they'd have to sell their cars to 2 different markets with different regulations. Right. So to be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah. And I don't think they're going to go far. Yeah. But they might get a few seats and they might be a power play.
Next up is the PQ for the economy. So first up, they want to remove any investments involved in fossil fuels.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of interesting, actually. Yeah. They want to tax online commerce. So they literally want to apply a QST to pretty much anything that's purchased online. Yeah. And they want 25% of all infrastructure projects to be content created by Quebec. So whether it's architects or whether it's artists and this feels very underthought or underproduced in terms of just this is all they have. I don't know if you heard anything else beyond that?
No, to be honest with you.
And that's compared to what we just said, I feel like those are the least impactful ones, they're focused on the people more than the actual infrastructure a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the leader was interesting. I saw his English debate. I was interested by his English. Yeah. I think he was the one who wanted the English debate, which is pretty interesting from the PQ. Yeah. But I don't know if what they want and what they can deliver is going to happen. And it just shows, everyone in Quebec, the national question was always, first, let's separate, and then secondary, let's figure it out. I don't think that's going to happen. So that's the whole issue. Yeah, some people want different things. They don't want to they want Quebec to be separated, but they definitely don't want to tax consumers and everything like that. So
speaking of, just because you were talking about all that, somebody here. I hear a person.
Yes, person.
Yeah. So I pulled up the voting turnouts for the last 3 elections.
Okay.
And 2014, 71% turnout. 2012, 74% turnout.
Okay.
2008, 57% turnout. Those are the lowest in 70 years. So I'm curious to see what tonight is going to be, just because I feel like there wasn't that much hype build up to tonight. But I'm also surprised that, at least on Facebook and what I've seen with my friends, how many people were hyped about going to vote. So I don't know if that's just a new commute, like a sense that everyone has now to go vote, or it's just, I don't know if it's going to get slept on.
Yeah. Well, I'm a numbers guy, so I love the numbers.
Straight up, right? It's interesting.
I love the economy, which is surprising because any other provinces, they vote based on their wallet.
Yeah.
The economy's doing great. Yeah. Why go somewhere else? You know,
would you say the rest of Canada, or would you say more Eastern Canada?
I would say normally people vote based on their wallet. You know, if they're doing well, times are good, why would they go somewhere else? Why would they try to create volatility, not stability?
Okay, so looking at the Liberals, right? They've been in power since 2003. 15 years is a long time for Quebecers that are maybe unhappy with how things are going, right?
I mean, there was some corruption scandals.
There was.
And so some people are upset about that.
Yeah.
There was a huge infrastructure problem, so it's tough to say.
And they also have 80% support.
Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Do you think we can drink
this?
this?
We can drink it. That's why it's there.
Bud Light.
Thank
you. Blue Dry. Wow.
Vive Quebec.
Yes.
So the Liberals have 80% support from the English speakers, mostly in Montreal. So they have a lot of support.
Yes.
But the CAQ offers change that many Quebecers were looking for, right? There's a rational businessman that's coming to say something that they kind of enjoy.
Yes.
What you got?
I'm just saying there's like 1 minute left until the voting polls close.
Until the voting polls close in 1 minute?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Let's see if we can pull up what's been going on here.
I have a question for you. So, did you go vote today?
Yeah.
How was that?
It wasn't bad in the morning.
That's the thing, man. A lot of people our age are worried. You know what I mean? They don't want to register. They don't want to wait in lines. There's got to be a better system that be able to vote.
So a big thing in the U.S. is that a lot of employers don't let their employees leave. It's
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And that's why, I mean, I'm not saying this is why somebody like Donald Trump got, I'm not trying to go down that road.
I was like, whoa.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, this is the reason why a lot of people don't vote or feel like voting is a broken system, right?
Yeah.
And what a lot of people have been saying for a very long time is, what if they just made it so that you could have an app, that you could just do it? The argument for that is that you could hack it and it could be, you know, but there's got to make it a holiday.
Make it a holiday. Make it a secure. I mean, I think they give us an hour, which an hour is not enough to go all the way to your riding.
You could be stuck in traffic
vote,
for an hour.
And then, but like, I was impressed. They did a good job today.
Yeah.
I voted. And
well, you were saying you were there for a while, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But but this evening though, and that's probably after people going home. From
the evening's the worst.
But people are still showing up, which is really cool.
Yeah, so it's good turnout. That's awesome. But I would agree with you. Maybe a day off for that would bring turnout because there's no excuse.
No. And then, or you feel guilty like, oh, should I? I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. And then it always goes back to, do you like the status quo? Do you even know that something's going to be like? There's a lot of the things in these platforms that I didn't realize were there.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like when something does rise to the top in the media, it's always the most controversial thing. You don't hear about the little things in between.
At all.
And I feel like those little things are the things that are almost easier to pass through. That probably will happen. That big controversial thing probably won't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's why we need the news to be free, be able to advertise.
There you go.
I completely agree with you.
So back to the CAQ. Rational business guy that wants to cut taxes.
Yep.
Income and school taxes. And they're looking like a big favorite tonight. Before we started, I mean, right now the Liberals so far are in the lead, but the CAQ is supposed to be the one that is the big favorite.
Well, when they started, they were way ahead. But the past two elections, they were way ahead at the start.
Yep.
Which is crazy, but they always came in third.
Mm-hmm.
Would this happen again today? Who knows? But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I saw a survey. It was like 80% sure that the CAQ is going to get a minority government for sure, or a majority.
Yep.
But you never know, man. It's quick turnout, different turnouts. We'll see what happens. Some people at the CAQ aren't going to go vote. We don't know. But it's going to be a very good election night.
Yeah.
So actually, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh,
wow. I need some more.
Just one or two.
I need some more. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
So yeah, and then so this is what I was gonna get to, just because we're talking about the PQ, and about separation, and apparently they're less interested in separation now than ever. 35% of Quebecers are interested in separation.
Yeah.
Which to me sounds pretty high still, but it's not enough to actually support a whole party, right? Especially if not all of those 35% go out and vote.
Exactly.
You know?
It's not going to be worth it.
So a popular comment that's going around on the internet right now is that this could be a end to the PQ. Not the end, but a end. A mega slowdown to what they're pushing out. Because people are just not into it anymore, which is interesting to see that happen at all. I didn't think that was the thing that was going to happen.
Well, I mean, the population, the Piquets are getting old.
Did you
They're
check? I
aging.
think somebody's at the door, no?
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 Janitor.
Oh, okay.
We hear the janitor.
Yeah, janitor's here.
He's gonna join us later, maybe.
The voice of the people.
But I don't know. In 1976.
The CAC's in the lead.
Oh,
Are they?
Breaking news.
So we got the
Real
CAC
news.
in the lead.
Yeah, 9-4-1. 9 CAC, 4 Liberal, 1 Quebec Solidaire.
Still early. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's very early.
But there's,
Yeah.
I think when they first started, everyone was down because they thought they were, a daredevil party,
Yeah.
a start.
Yeah.
And now they're just fragmented to the 10th degree. No
Yeah.
one cares about the first question of the national question to separate. It's a secondary question. How are they going to lead once they're there? You know what I mean? Are they going to focus on the right-wing side, which is low taxes and run the economy and try to get Quebec better? Or are they going to focus on the environment? So it's pretty interesting that this is the first election in decades. Wow.
Decades.
They don't care.
She was 2 seconds ago.
She was 2 seconds ago. Then Pelado came.
Yeah.
And I think Pelado was scared a lot of people because
Yeah.
he, on his first speech, said un pays,
Yeah.
which was one country, Quebec, which scared a lot of people, and that made everyone go to Liberals.
So,
And it really hurt the CAC last election.
It did.
So,
it did.
I think the main thing is to focus on the economy, focus on Quebec,
Yeah.
and then maybe going later, maybe they can go back to that road. But other than that, it's tough.
So speaking of that,
we
can kind of dive down into. Make sure this guy's coming. Cool.
The janitor?
Yeah, the janitor's next to me. So let's talk a little bit about identity and sovereignty.
Okay.
Because this is sort of it's a bit of a vague topic, I feel, because it's not something you can actually kind of hold down, and it's more of like a feeling. And this is what they're trying to put this feeling into different areas of the government. So the Liberals, they want to remove, or they have the religious neutrality bill that states that anyone giving or receiving public services, they have to have their face uncovered.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they have zero support for sovereignty. So this is, of all of them, this is the least. I don't want to say offensive in the sense that I'm bothered by them, but just objectively invasive. Let's put it that way. The least invasive terminology. Okay. The CAC, religious and symbols are prohibited completely. They want to limit immigration to protect the French language.
Okay, which is tough.
And it's like, how do you do that? And so that we'll talk about immigration in a second. They have no interest in sovereignty because they see that 2/3 of Quebecers aren't interested in either. So they see it as a dated concept. But to boost the French language, they want to appoint an office de la langue française, a commissioner of the French language, to go around and literally, like a police,
like a pastigate,
but instead of it being a joke, it's for real.
Oh.
So I feel like something like that kind of instantly drops them a little bit for me, you know?
Well, especially Montreal, I think some words you can't translate it, and it gets ridiculous.
And what's interesting about that concept is that I feel like that goes against his whole thing about making it easier for entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
So,
especially Montreal, like you're gonna hire English people that are gonna have to speak French.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to change your whole menu. That's a huge cost for an entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
that's what is a little suspicious on that.
Yeah.
I understand Quebec has a culture, none like anywhere in Canada.
Yep.
But there's other ways to protect it, and I don't think that is the right way.
No.
A French police is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, because you're basically you're doing it aggressively, essentially.
Exactly. Well, hopefully the French police isn't listening to us.
Excuse-moi. Quebec Solidaire, they want a complete ban. I feel like I'm a complete
Don't worry,
ban
do the same.
on people in positions of authority wearing any religious symbols, so like cops and judges.
Okay.
They want to draw up a new constitution for Quebec as its own country. They want us to separate so Quebec can be an environmentally conscious society. And they wouldn't pay for the military weapons or be subject to British-style democracy, and it would focus on working on and supporting Indigenous relations. Now, all of that, I feel, sounds better on paper.
Yeah, but in real life, like...
It's not that I wish this could work, but I don't. It's not so much that I don't think it could work. I don't think there are people in place that could do this. I don't trust the people that are there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the system isn't going to be compatible with their ideas, and because of that, they're going to try to do it, and it's going to be some sort of warped version of that. And people are going to say, oh, well, like, it obviously didn't work. And it's not because the idea might work, but I don't think it could work right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Like, I
can't even say anything
I don't
else.
see it being a country.
Maybe in dreams, but I don't know. Even the separation question, I don't even know what the first day of day 0, day 1 of separation, how it would work. We share our budgets, we share everything together. I think we're stronger as a province in a country, you know. But and I do agree, though, we have to have some sort of rules, but a little more lax. To keep our identity, keep our culture.
For sure,
I'm not saying...
and you could totally do that, but I don't. And I just feels like not paying for the military. Not even the military, just the weapons. We're not going to contribute to the gun budget.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how they're gonna. Other provinces are gonna be complaining about that. I don't know what they're gonna do.
But okay, I'm gonna grab the other guys waiting outside. Give me 1 second. Oh, I'll be right back.
Perfect.
Tell people about your favorite number.
My favorite number. What kind of number is my favorite number? That's a good one. Well, it's pretty interesting. Quebec Solidaire. I've never been a fan of both of them. I don't know how their policies would work. But I'm worried that a lot of people are going to vote for them just because of the fourth party. So there's going to be people that are going to vote for them with their eyes closed and not really doing the research needed to be able to make the right decision. And that could cost them, because if there's a minority government, who will be able to form a coalition? Quebec Solidaire will have a huge impact in that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
So here for a sec. All right, so we have the next guy.
Oh, we have our next guest.
If you want, it's totally up to you. You can chill or come back in a bit once he's done, or I can text you. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, you can always text me.
Yeah, cool.
But it was a good talk
with
you.
Yeah, it's good, dude. Thank
I
you
had
so
a great
much.
time.
Yeah, no, totally.
Thank you so much for the beers, So
Wow,
cheers to that.
Beer and wine glasses.
Beers with wine glasses.
That's how we do it here.
Sure, can I find out who's on the lead right now, or is there an instant
can we get an
poll that
update?
we could find out?
Yeah, right now, CAC is in the lead.
Really?
28. Yeah. Liberals are. Let me find.
28 seats, eh? Wow.
28 seats. Liberal 11.
Okay, wow.
AQ 4. And Quebec Solidaire 1.
1 so far.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. Yeah. But the CAC are doing good so far, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Alex, I want to thank you.
Dude,
thank you for the beer.
You killed it.
Thanks, guys.
You did such a good job.
Thanks.
Vince.
All right, thank you,
Take
Vince.
it easy, bud.
Take care, guys.
Have a good night.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Come on in. Come on in. You might want to take your jacket. It's going to get so hot. My next guest is a Montrealer. Here, let me get you a new glass. We don't do dishes here. We just we have new glasses for everybody.
Ooh.
That's
I
how we
see
do
it's
it.
the really high.
Yeah, we have that.
Expensive brand.
We have that dollar store budget.
Empty, and
Oh,
before
here you
sit
go.
on your laptop,
Yeah, I totally almost did that.
Woo! The empty cans?
Yeah, that one, yeah. And then we're good for
Thank you very much.
Let me pour you the ale of the gods. JK. How you been?
What year is this?
2008. The lowest
That's a good harvest.
voting attendance
Good
for
harvest.
Quebec voters. Oh,
But
man.
usually has high, pretty high.
What's that?
Check Slack.
Check Slack? Real quick. Let's check Slack. What's going on here? I can't share anything. Oh! Alors, je vais parler un peu de français aujourd'hui parce que on parle de Québec. Et puis maintenant, I'm just spitting some French here. I'll probably jump back and forth. Alright, so introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, so,
there he is.
There I am. How's it going? My name's Colton.
Tell me about yourself.
That's Pina. That's misspelled.
You remember her?
Oh,
Is
I'm not looking back there. I think my name's misspelled there, by the way.
it?
It is.
Can we pull his name up again right now?
See this? Yeah. So it's that Senpa. That's all right.
You're fired.
Tonight.
You're
I'm that
fired. I never
I'm
want to
that
see.
Pina tonight.
copied what you sent me.
That's a lie. Well, maybe his name changed in the text.
I'm out of here.
That was offensive on all accounts. It's very warm. So
I've been good. I've been good.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
for
what's your
asking.
story? Why are you sitting in this chair right now?
Well, I think over the past year and
Yeah.
a half, I'd say I've become much more politically conscious.
Okay.
I've been trying to read more, trying to.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. That's a good question. I think
Just getting older? Or?
maybe I'm getting older, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of interested in like. First, I think I was just interested in like kind of like global movements
Yeah.
that are happening around.
Yeah. Like it matters more.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a
And then I'm like, I have these like, there's these huge concepts, right?
Yeah.
Like huge discussions of like whatever you have, like free market,
Okay.
like whatever socialist like ideas floating around globally. And then I'm like, oh wait, and I'm like, we have elections.
Like shit matters. Yeah, we have elections.
We have politics. You know?
But would you say, okay, because there's a constant thing, and I'll say this one in French. Il y a un sens qu'au Québec puis au Canada, il n'y a pas vraiment la gravitas qu'il y a aux États-Unis.
In what way? What do you think? What do you mean?
Dans le sens que un vote change pas grand-chose pour la majorité des personnes.
In
So
Quebec, I mean, I think
And I'm
that's,
not saying that's true. I'm saying that sort of it feels like that's the vibe that is like flowing around. I don't see people.
I mean, is that just because the liberals have been in power for like?
I'm asking. Do you think?
I mean, I think liberals have been in power for.
Do you
like,
think it's they keep like a sort of a status quo so neutral that people don't feel
Well, it's
like it
it's
affects
what
them?
people are used to.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
Yeah.
It's like there's a safe option. You know?
Yeah.
Before it was the PQ and the scary sovereigntists. But
Yeah.
now it's not much of an issue.
And so that's what we were just talking about. Fait à Québec, il y a apparemment c'est le moment le moins intense en termes de souveraineté. Il y a pas beaucoup de personnes québécois qui veulent se séparer du Canada. C'est 35%.
Ouais.
And even that, I'm saying, even if like half of them show up to vote, that's 17% maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So you're not going to get that amount. Fait que c'est quelque chose d'intéressant. Fait que, so what's your angle in all this? Like, what's your takeaway from what's been going on in the elections? And because I talked about who's running, j'ai parlé des candidats, c'est quoi leur plateforme, puis de qu'est-ce qu'ils veulent poursuivre en termes de leur message, you know, what their identity is. So what's your take on all this?
Well, I guess with sovereignty as a back issue,
Yeah.
I guess people have kind of realized that like, most of like for the longest time the main debate was always like sovereignty.
Yeah.
And it was
For a
always,
long time.
Yeah, for a
Like
while.
it almost took over anything else, and it almost made everything trivial.
Yeah, absolutely. And then people were like, well, you know, whatever party would go for like environmental issues, education, it would always be kind of like secondary to like the most immediate issue, which is if we elect someone, are they gonna try and like split off from Canada, you know?
Yeah.
And I think among young people, it's like sovereignty. I think there's a poll of like a dozen different like issues, and among young voters, sovereignty was like dead last, you know. So I think you can see definitely like a generational change. New people, the new kids on the block, they don't really care about sovereignty.
No.
They're okay with Quebec being a part of Canada in the way that it is, maybe changing a little bit. But I guess that this has brought forth, since that's now on the back burner completely, like PQ have said that like, listen, look, we're not going to have a referendum if we get elected.
Well, so that's the whole thing, right? They're not going to do it right away.
Right away, no. They say, I think
Which is
it's
such
the second
sneaky.
Well, I mean, it's what the party's based off,
right?
Yeah, that's their whole
that's
like core thing.
That's their flavor.
And like without it, it's like they're like I don't know, it's almost like I'm not gonna say they grew up because that's a little mean.
But that's their thing, though.
Yeah, right.
That's their whole thing.
That's their identity, right?
Yeah. And no one else is doing it, and it's kind of like you're gonna lose that population.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see that because PQ is no longer like the only like, let's say like it's no longer their main thing, which is sovereignty, is no longer the main issue. So you see they're kind of like losing a lot of like voters to like whatever you have it, CAC, who specifically is like, yo, we're never gonna have a referendum. Don't worry about it. And QS are just like, we're kind of flirting with the idea of it, but they want to like, you know, have like what is it, kind of like they want to ask the population, right? And if it doesn't poll well, if people like in whatever discussions they have don't want it, then they're not gonna force it upon the population. Right, and so because now that's on the back burner, you have things like immigration. You definitely have, because the whole thing about sovereignty, I think at its core, it's definitely about the Quebec identity, right? It's about like protecting this Quebec identity, protecting.
We were
Quebec
talking about that a little
values,
bit earlier.
whatever you want to, whatever your idea of Quebec is, sovereigntists want to protect it because obviously Quebec is like the only like French place in North America, right?
Or to the point where it's such a big part of the fabric of your day-to-day life. I feel like there's a lot of it, like I know is it Edmonton or Alberta? No, it's in Alberta or Calgary. There's a huge Ukrainian population.
Right, yeah.
And I think they're trying to look for sovereignty in the same way that French people here are.
The Ukrainian population?
Yes, which is super interesting. They don't have it, and I don't think they're pushing as hard as the Quebecers are, but there's enough of them that, you know, they want to.
For sure. And I think I can understand this kind of concern.
Yeah.
as like let's say an immigrant, a child of immigrants, I have like every day I kind of like maybe it's not like I think about it all the time, but it's definitely like, something I think about, right? Where I'm like my identity is Canadian, Quebecois, Montrealer, but then there's also like my ethnic identity as a Tibetan, as an Asian, and how all of these kind of like interact and like layer on top of each other, you know. Yeah. Some days it's more Canadian, some days it's more Quebec, you know. And it's a tough question because like, let's say for Tibetans, the Tibetan community in Montreal, the main thing is language. Keeping the kids speaking Tibetan, keeping them in tune with Tibetan culture so they don't assimilate into whatever city or area we're in, you know. Like compare like Tibetan community in Montreal, 100, 150. Yeah. Toronto, almost 10,000.
Really?
Yeah. And
but that's the thing in Toronto. There's a lot of clusters of
Parkdale in the Parkdale community. Yeah. I think recently in the Ontario elections, they elected the first Tibetan ever to hold a public office in America.
One second, I think the other guy's here.
Give me 1 second. We'll grab it.
Yeah, could you? Yeah. No, it's such a thing.
So right, I understand the francophone concern of protecting francophone culture, identity, the language. Right. Of course, it makes sense, like in the grand definitely in the big sense of things, right? In the big like in like the big picture, you know, Quebec only French place, and like minus like was it New Brunswick, which is bilingual. But like in North America, right? Because let's say we go to watch a movie, it's going to be an American movie. Yeah. We watch
it just TV, influences our life in so many different ways.
Exactly, right? Like all the movies I watch, mostly American, you know.
It overtakes it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's kind of, they want to make sure that Quebec culture, language, is protected, represented, so on. I get it.
My thing about that is that there's so many other countries.
There is a lot of countries.
There are a lot of countries. There's a lot of countries
not fake news.
There's like more than 3 countries. No, but it's like there are countries that have American movies come in and they still have no trouble. Like their culture is preserved. Sure. On its own. Sure. And I'm not trying to get into that discussion because that's a huge discussion.
That's another live.
You need
live night.
People that know what they're talking about in more specific ways that I'll never be able to live my life in that way. But yeah, no, it's a serious thing, like trying to preserve that culture, and I get it. And
I mean, I think that's the basis of the whole immigration talk, right?
Yeah.
This whole immigration talk is that like Quebecers are afraid that this influx of immigrants kind of hurts Quebec culture and identity.
Yeah.
So the thing is, where most of these immigrants land is almost always going to be Montreal, right? Huge ethnic communities in Montreal, very diverse compared to like let's say like Gaspésie or like Rouyn-Noranda, right? And in Montreal, where these ethnic communities are, people aren't voting for like anti-immigration stuff.
No.
People aren't voting CAQ. People aren't voting for those kind of like less immigrant stuff because people are used to immigrants.
Yeah.
And the place I find, this is just my take. Who am I? You know?
Yeah, no, but it's your opinion. You're
but it's like the people who are voting CAQ are people who are not used to, let's say, seeing immigrants on a daily basis. You know. I think I have a coworker who talks about how his family's from like suburban, the suburbs, the banlieue outside of like Quebec City. And they have like one black person in like that whole town, right? And then and he says his family is very concerned with immigration, you know. But it's a concern that's not like founded on like this everyday, like, this thing you see every day in the streets. I mean, I think it's totally fear mongering, right? So because it's fear mongering based off this idea.
What's up? Check my Slack. What's going on here? We have something going on.
I've been telling them.
The CAQ won?
Oh, they won.
No, that can't be a thing. Already? Can we confirm that?
I'm trying to confirm.
All right, we're gonna confirm that real quick.
The polls just closed.
They just closed. I feel like that's kind of
20 minutes ago.
Yeah, CAQ. Yeah, it's got to be. No, I don't think anything's official just yet. Is it? Okay.
It's official, apparently.
Is it official? Who's the source? Who do we have?
Keep talking about CAQ. I'll find everything.
Anyways,
we're gonna talk about the
people who don't see immigrants. Think of immigration as their like main thing, right? Think of because the CAQ is kind of this like middle ground of obviously not to the point of sovereigntism that they want to protect it, but they want to protect it by reducing immigration, deporting people even, you know. I think that's one of my biggest takeaways. I was like, oh man, this guy wants to like just like deport people if they like after they land, if they fail the exam or whatever they have set up, they want them to be deported, escorted to like the Ontario border or I don't know.
All right, so
Is it?
based on La Presse, yeah, it looks like the CAQ is going to be the Quebec government. They're the winners. So that's really interesting because there's a lot of stuff that. So here, let's talk about their stance on immigration real quick. So for the rest of the night, we'll just talk about the CAQ stuff essentially, since it's they're the winners of tonight. So their stance on tonight, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Oh, no, I can.
That early though?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I guess this early. I'm surprised it's this early.
This early, right? No, not the fact that they won, but it's this early.
Yeah,
514%.
20 minutes in.
So their stance is to decrease the number of immigrants coming into Quebec by 20%.
Yeah.
Starting
so
next
from
year.
50,000 to 40,000.
40,000. Paying people to take language tests, which I feel like so here, when I was in university, I had to take a French test, and if you didn't have the French class from CEGEP, you had to take a more advanced class.
Yeah.
So it's part of it, and because I had done high school in French, it was a conversation. That's all it was.
Sure, of course.
And I feel like that feels like a less invasive way of making people learn the language. Mm-hmm. Just take the test. Now here's what's interesting, and this is where it gets kind of ooh. After 3 years of taking in language tests and values of Quebec, the ones that can't speak French get flagged, sent to Ottawa for expulsion. That seems very intense.
I think it's way too hardcore.
That's intense, right?
According to me, way too hardcore.
So under the new, just to give you guys a heads up here, so the CAQ won tonight, and I guess as of, I don't know when they start, tomorrow, basically anyone that immigrates to Canada has 3 years to learn the French language and Quebec values, and if they don't get it in 3 years, they get expulsed, like you would get expulsed from high school if you did something bad. Which I guess you could. I mean, the devil's advocate argument is 3 years is a long time to learn a language, but at the same time, I don't know. There's a lot of things that go on in life. If let's say if you're the only person working in your family, you have 3 kids and a wife, and who knows what your circumstances are.
You need to. So as soon as you land in Quebec, you need to pay for like accommodations. You're busy. You're trying to find like schooling for your kids. You're trying to just set up, right?
Yeah.
And that's 3 years might seem a long time to do that, but it's like. It's a huge thing to uproot yourself from other countries and then come here. But also another thing is, most of the immigrants who do come here, a lot of them speak French. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people you see, I find a lot of the immigrants here are coming from like French speaking.
Well, that's for a couple reasons. One, obviously, it's the most attractive place for them.
Exactly.
But also, I think they get prioritized as well. I think the Quebec government prioritizes French speakers or people from French speaking countries.
Right, because it would mean less expensive.
That's it.
Teaching in French, right.
And then going back to their the identity and sovereignty, we were talking about this earlier with Vince. So religious symbols are not going to be prohibited in the government.
Not?
They are.
Okay, they are.
They are.
Yeah.
They're going to limit immigration to protect the French language through the use of a commissioner of the Office de la Langue Française that will receive the complaints and then carry out, almost like we made jokes about this back when she was with Pastigate. There's actually going to be a commissioner now. Hans Landa, no. And yeah, interesting stuff. What do you think?
I mean, I think we all expected it, right?
Yeah. Was this better than some of the alternatives?
No. To me, CAQ was the worst alternative.
Really?
Yeah.
Worse than Québec Solidaire? Worse than the PQ?
In my opinion, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I don't know. The leader just shows like. To me, I guess it's like it's also like the big picture of things, like what this kind of like party represents. You know,
Yeah.
there's supposed to be this coalition, which is supposed to be like from like every kind of like all over the political spectrum. You know, but once they have their platform, once they have their promises, that automatically sets them somewhere on the political spectrum, right? I think right now they're kind of like center right.
Yeah.
Center right, free market. He talks about like.
Well, he's more business sense, right?
Right. Exactly. He wants to, and people like the idea of running a government like a business. You know. People are like, oh yeah, government involves lots of money. Who else involves lots of money? Business, you know. Yeah. I don't know. My main thing going into this election was public transportation.
Yeah? Well, here, let's talk about that real quick. And then we'll get to our next guest real quick. Thank you so much for waiting, man.
How's it going? The beer? Excellent.
Yeah, we'll get you a cold one real quick. So in terms of transportation, so I feel like this doesn't have much to do with transportation, but it was in the slot. They want to clean up the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah.
It's dirty. They want to drop $10 billion into infrastructure to help clear up traffic, which I'm down for that.
Right, but I think it's cool that they say this big number, and then their goal is clearing out traffic, right?
But it's very vague, right?
But one of the things is, so one of my big complaints about the CAC proposal to, like, let's say clear out traffic, one of them at least, and it was the same thing as the Liberals. The Libs also proposed this, was adding another lane to Highway 30.
Yeah.
That does, historically, that does nothing.
It does nothing.
You have so many, it's called induced demand. So it's like, when you increase whatever capacity a highway or bridge can take, people imagine that's better because when they're on the highway, they're like, oh, there's so many cars, you know? If there was a third lane, all these cars are spread out. Adding a third lane increases the amount of cars as well. So, like, let's say the idea of adding another bridge that goes from the South Shore to Montreal. People were like, oh, yeah, that'll alleviate traffic. Yeah. But the thing, what would happen is...
just more people will be driving.
It would increase the number of drivers. You know? It's like a big thing in, like, what is it, like, urbanism and just, like, city planning. That, like...
So it's almost like a...
It's counterintuitive.
It's a myth.
Yeah.
It's
totally a myth. Like, you have
really
a bunch of articles online from, like, a bunch of, like, different, like, like, biased, like, newspapers talking about, this does not work. There's been studies. Doesn't work. To me, that was, like, one of the things I heard about, and I was like, this is not going to help, you know? And I think it shows, to me, it shows that, like, both the Liberals and the CAC want these kind of proposals that sound nice to the ears, you know? But, like, historically proven that
it doesn't work. You know? And the last main point that they wanted to, in terms of transportation for the CAC, who, if you're just listening now, they won. They want to extend Montreal's metro system up to Laval, and maybe even do it above ground instead of underground to save money on digging. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting. Like, I feel like every time somebody talks about the metro, no one ever talks about doing it above ground.
Yeah, no, I think, what is it, the fucking mayor, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Valérie.
Plante. Yeah, Plante has talked about being very open to, like, any kind of, like, let's say, alterations. Yeah. She just wants this, like, line to happen, right?
Yeah.
So Valérie Plante's, what was it, election last year?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so she was elected.
Like 2 seconds ago.
The Projet Montreal, they're kind of like this environmentalist kind of like party. Yeah. And they were all about, their big thing was that they want to make a pink line in Montreal, which is, I think, like something like 28 stations. It would go from Lachine into NDG. Yeah. Between the green line and the orange line, up from Place des Arts to Milton Park, Mount Royal, and then it would service like the upper like Rosemont, La Petite area. These areas are very like working class, very they don't have much access to, let's say, a metro. Like closest metro for you live in NDG, right? How far do you live? You have to take the 105.
No, I can walk if I wanted to.
Okay, nice. Yeah,
but 105.
Yeah. But like you see how packed the 105 is, right?
It's bad. And there's a lot of them passing. It's always packed.
And I think the whole point is that she wanted to reach these kind of like, usually kind of like working class areas, right? And just relieve the stress off the buses and to something more reliable like the metro, which like can pass like, let's say like, which has much more of a capacity, much higher capacity than a bus, passes much more frequently, and doesn't have like any kind of like traffic, what's it, it doesn't like, how do I say this? It's totally separate from the traffic above ground, right? Yeah. So that's one thing. I don't know how they would do an above ground thing. I don't know if they want, I think the pink line, I think she proposed, would, a section of it would go above ground. Yeah. Because they wouldn't use the same rubber tires that the rest of them
together, right? So it would have to be something.
I think they would use part of the totally. There's so many like acronyms.
Yeah, there's too many.
What's the train service called?
The tram.
No, it's not the tram. Whatever, the train service that goes to Montreal West, they would use those existing tracks. So no new tracks would have to be laid there. Yeah. And then once it goes into the kind of core downtown area, it would go anywhere.
Yeah. And just before you go, the topic of what this is going to mean for English-speaking Quebecers, right?
Right.
So what I said about the FSL de l'Enfance is now having a commissioner where people are going to complain to, it almost feels, and I was talking about this with Vince, it feels contradictory to Legault being a business sense guy who wants to benefit entrepreneurs.
Lots of contradictions with Legault, you know.
So there you go.
He wants to increase like a lot of these like public services. You know, obviously deporting people takes resources, right? It takes resources, it takes manpower, and then he also wants to cut taxes. You know, so it's like I don't know. People are going to be promising tax cuts for the rest of our lives. Yeah, because that's
everyone's promise, right?
That's that's everyone's promise. I think when during the debates, they're all like, "Yeah, we want lower taxes," you know. But it's like how they lower taxes, what ways it affects people. Because I think people's concern with tax cuts, it's like this immediate. They can see it on like let's say a paycheck, or they see it like in their everyday like kind of thing. It was like, oh, I have more money here, you know. But there's other ways.
So there you go. That's actually very interesting. It's not just going to be an oppressive commissioner that's going to come by and knock on your door. It's going to be in your paycheck. A little line is going to go up.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see an effect in your like daily lives, but there's other ways that you can see. Let's say like savings in your daily lives. Let's say one of the let's say let's say a pink line was made.
Yeah.
So something metro stations do.
Yeah.
Any kind of public transportation like metro, like underground, like subway does, increases property value around. The neighborhoods, the surrounding neighborhoods, become more mobile in the workforce, you know? So let's say someone lives in Anjou and they have to go work, let's say Longueuil, you know? Chances are it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Chances are there's going to be like lots of traffic, right?
Yeah.
If you give them the option of having a metro station, they're going to take the metro station.
Yeah.
Less congestion on roads. If they live near there, the property value increases. Yeah. There's lots of different ways to see
the positives, the negatives,
the same kind of like, oh, I saved money on taxes, seeing it saved in
different
other
ways.
places.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you for
I
having
appreciate
me.
it. I hope you enjoyed the beer. Let's do a little one last. There we go.
Dark days ahead.
There you go. The cack. Can we get that here? You pull that up. I'm gonna go grab beer for our next guest real quick. And pull up the cat coin. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it so much. Oh, thank you for waiting, Abe.
No.
It's just some time, man. Play Magic.
Yeah, straight up. Oh my god, so much.
Alright.
Thank you for coming back, eh? I'll go get a beer.
Okay, yeah.
You good?
It's good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yo, dude.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, let me grab that. One of those are mine.
Oh, this one's yours.
Oh yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, no, I think we're all surprised.
My mom was in politics for 12 years and it never comes this year.
Should we just toss them?
No, bring them up. We might use them for some other time.
20 minutes in, results
Yeah,
are out.
because usually, when my mom was in politics, it took about a good hour.
What did your mom do?
She was a city councillor, and always by 9:30ish.
I mean, vote counting is like...
That's why when I heard, but...
It's a rigorous process, you know, you have to make sure...
Yeah, I think they have enough to say they won, but I'm surprised 20 minutes, I've never seen that.
I think they're projected to win, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know. If La Presse said it, I think...
That's pretty legit.
It's pretty legit, but... do you know if they won minority or majority, or is it, or I don't know if they know yet?
I think those specifics will be...
soon, I guess. I was a liberal for my whole life, and then I felt like he was more business friendly, François Legault, but I don't like the things of the...
No, I mean, I
know, right?
The whole vibe is that no one's perfectly happy with any of the parties,
But
right?
you know, it was the lesser of two evils because if you were not a separatist, you wouldn't vote Quebec Solidaire.
Majority,
you
man.
vote,
Be a majority.
So you had the two, but I was liberal my whole life. I think liberals didn't listen to the
Debate about
Calvin.
Killed it. What's up, man?
What's up?
I still like meet you for real though.
Yeah, for real, for real.
I'm so sorry for Friday night.
No, it's okay.
Oh
You
my
know, I
goodness.
misread it fast
No,
on
yeah.
Facebook. I was in the area, so it didn't bother me too much.
I appreciate that.
Wow,
Alright.
7:40.
Yeah, let me
Jesus,
pour you a beer.
Why not?
Ooh, man, PQ.
All right, so we're back with another round. This is Antoine.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell me a little about you. What are you doing here?
All right, so my mom was in politics for 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I felt like, you know, it's important. I went out to vote. I feel like the youth, we we don't take it as important, but it really is, no matter who won.
Why do you think that is?
So,
you think it's just because we feel like it doesn't impact us as much as our parents?
I think we feel like there's no hope. Like, okay, my vote won't count.
Yep.
I'm not gonna take time. I have an exam. I have a project. I have work. I have to go see my wife or girlfriend. Why would I vote? It won't count, but it really does. If everyone has that mentality and no one votes, it's bad news. Regardless who wins, that's democracy. I would have been happy whoever won because the people spoke. I'm gonna take a sip.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Here, let's cheers.
Cheers.
So the CAC won.
Yep.
Now you said you've met all of the candidates.
François Legault, Madame from Quebec, her name's not coming to me. I met all of them. My mom was in politics, so I had the fortune of meeting all of them. I was a liberal my whole life, but I voted CAC.
Okay.
Because,
so amazing. So let's talk about that. Where's that coming from?
I think people like that he was a businessman.
Okay.
I'm Anglophone,
okay.
Primarily, and the Anglophones felt that the Liberals did not take that proactive step. They took it for acquis, granted. And Legault was very charismatic. You cannot underestimate charisma, in my opinion.
So my question for you is, because I feel the feeling in the air has always been the Liberals are the only team behind the Anglophones.
Correct. Yeah.
So why do you think do you think this is a shift? A lot of Anglophones went for the CAC this time.
Yeah, I do think so.
Tell me.
I do think so. I'm
super curious.
Yeah, my mom's actually at the CAC tonight. She's not really like she's neutral, but I guess she's friends with Monsieur Legault. The Anglophones felt that Couillard did not. Yeah, they felt neglected, and here you have a businessman who came in, he speaks English well, so they shifted towards that because the Anglophones in general do not want to separate, so they're going to vote for the lesser of two evils, not Quebec Solidaire and not PQ.
Yeah,
typically.
And that seems like the safest bet.
Yeah. So if you're fed up with one, you have to, go to the other.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was your vibe with Legault?
I liked him. I found he was very charismatic. I don't like everything he said, like the commissioner. I think that's a bit overdone.
A little bit extreme, yeah.
Very extreme, but I liked his vibe. I think that's why I voted for him. Personality in politics goes a long way.
Yeah.
So, look at Trump. He was able to sway the people, most of the people.
So I'm just gonna go over whatever because I had different sectors that I was gonna cover on their platforms. Now we can focus on one.
One, exactly.
We went through the economy. Let's talk about healthcare.
Yeah.
So the CAC wants every child to have a family doctor. They want to increase the legal age of marijuana consumption to 21.
Yeah.
And they want to hire more nurses and abolish mandatory overtime. That actually all sounds good to me.
It does, honestly.
That doesn't sound like
doesn't sound
because I know I've seen anyone that's been in a hospital knows nurses work way too much.
Yeah.
Like way too much. Increasing the legal age of marijuana to 21. Look, I'm totally okay with that.
Because 18, you're still in my head a kid. 21, you're in university. Your brain is more or less developed.
Now I'm curious to see because it's no secret that a lot of 18-year-olds and younger are smoking weed now. I'm curious to see once it's legalized and once the 21-year-old limit is engaged, how's that divide gonna? Because that's never been a thing before, where over the age of 21 it's legal. How is that going to work is it going to work similar to alcohol where people, I mean, if you look at, even in St. Patrick's Day in Montreal, a lot of people drink and the cops are very lax about it. Is that the same thing that's going to happen with weed or are they going to be stricter? I'm curious.
I think they're going to adopt more of a mentality like the States. In the States, actually you get ticketed.
Zero tolerance.
If you're under 18, under 21 in this case. So I think that would be good. At 18, you should not be smoking either cigarettes or marijuana. Yeah. 21, it's a good system. I like it.
Yeah. I agree. So in case you're just starting to watch now, the CAC have won the majority, and it's interesting because they have a lot of very
majority. I think
the majority.
I thought minority, but
and that fast.
Yeah, and that I was surprised. I was telling the gentleman outside that my mom was in politics, and usually an hour and a half to get the results within 20 minutes.
It's crazy.
I'm very surprised.
It's crazy. Maybe. I wonder if that's. I don't know. I wish I had looked into it to how quick it happened in the past because I'm curious to compare.
Well, never this quick.
Never this quick, eh?
No. An hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. 20 minutes, I guess.
In terms of education, they want a government-funded kindergarten. They want to ditch school boards to have service centers instead that are going to be worked on by principals and teachers and parents.
Yeah.
Which almost seems like a second job for these people who are already working a lot. I don't really know how that's going to work.
I don't like that, even though.
And speech therapists in classrooms, like psychologists, to help kids with disabilities, which I think is really cool.
I think that's good. I have ADHD, and I thought I think if someone was there when I was younger, would have diagnosed it
Quicker.
earlier on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very good. Now
Yeah.
there's a cost associated
Yeah.
to it, but overall
Absolutely.
it'll be good. You get the problem now. When they're in university, the grades will be better.
And not only that, but if you invest in the population when they're younger, when they're older,
exactly.
you know.
Exactly. So happy.
Very, very interesting. Immigration, did we talk about that? Yes, we did. About the language test and the OLFQ.
The language test, I'm not for. What, 3 years and you're out? I get 3 years. It's a long time to learn language.
I feel like that's a relative thing, right? I mean,
I don't know how that's gonna work.
I don't know how that's gonna work either. But no, it's really interesting to see not one of the big mains win.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
and
weird.
this almost feels like center-ish.
Yeah.
No? Or
No, it
it,
does.
or it feels like, let's put it this way, it feels like an option that seems a little bit like more level-headed. And a lot of people are going to disagree. Like, again, I feel like in general, there's always going to be parts in someone's platform that you're going to agree with and that you're going to disagree with.
Of course.
I feel like it's hard to be happy with everything. And it's hard to
Yeah.
please everyone, right? My personal opinion, I think based on this, because I literally dove into this heavily today.
Okay.
I didn't pay as much attention. I knew the basics like
Yeah.
everybody else, but
Yeah.
I feel like today I dove into it, and I almost feel like I wish more people did this, and it would have been interesting if we did this maybe like a week ago. But it's interesting to see that there's more to a person than just that one 20-second snippet that you see that the media pushes out.
That's
That's
true.
what I was saying earlier to Vince. I was saying that you're going to see this the most controversial
Of
thing.
course.
And usually that thing is something that's so big or hard to pass that's never really going to be a thing. It's their little it's the undercard
Yeah.
that's going to become their
Yeah.
policies they're going to pump out. And I think out of all of them, I feel like still the Liberals were the neutral compared to, I mean, it's the status quo.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
For so many years.
But the CAC between the other three are the ones that seemed the most rational.
Yeah, I think honestly, a lot of people are going to disagree. Legault won a bit because why Trump won. He's a businessman.
Okay.
People like business
Right.
men and women. More and more people want to be entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
have a startup. And a bit the anti-immigrant stance, like it or not, some people say we have to protect the people that are here.
Yeah.
I'm not agreeing with it, but there's a certain population. I think the CAC, they had, let's say, we're here, we're Quebecois, we're going to protect our own. And that resonated, obviously,
With a
because
lot,
they won
with
a lot
they
of
won the
people.
majority, yeah.
Now the French, the obligatory passing the test, there's
Yeah.
still a lot of people that think that, it's a must, you have to speak, it's Quebec, it's
Yeah.
French, so obviously, there's a huge population that still thinks like that.
That's it.
Or so.
And there's a lot of Canadians that are going to be happy to know that Quebec isn't going to separate tomorrow.
Yeah,
So we have that.
They play
Which
both
I
sides.
feel like I can't believe that's still a part of the conversation.
Yeah,
You know, even
sure.
though it's such a minority within the PQ.
Yeah.
Do we know how many seats the PQ have? Can you any chance you can pull that
20
up?
something?
20 something, eh?
I think.
It's
Close to
it's
20.
much smaller.
Yeah, I think the Liberal had 31 last
Okay.
I saw. And CAC had 62, I think.
PQ,
Mm-hmm.
so far I see 5.
5.
Wow,
Seats.
okay.
Yeah.
And Liberals 30, I think.
35.
Okay,
35.
I was mixing up the numbers. Wow, PQ. A lot of young people, even francophones, they don't believe in to separate, and I think it's more of an older.
Well, that's it, so-
mentality, I think.
One of the ideas is that it's so low right now
Mm.
because it's a shift in generational thinking.
Yeah.
That it's the previous generation that really wanted to, and the younger generation are starting to understand that that's not really what's going to benefit Quebec. And that's sort of what's interesting about the CAC is that it feels like, because he was with the PQ.
Yeah.
He
many
served
years
as a
ago, yes,
minister.
That's correct.
And what's very interesting is that this feels like a PQ ideology that was analyzed and someone said, hey, wait a second, that's not how you fix the province. This is how you do it. And I'm not saying that's how it's going to
No.
do. For all I know, he's going to screw it up more than anyone has before. I have no idea,
We'll see in 4 years.
But based on the platform that they're presenting and the points that they want to carry through, it almost seems like somebody sat down and said, well, that seems ridiculous, but this actually seems like a level-headed way of doing this.
I
And
think
this is why.
It's
You
the
know?
year of change, I think. Honestly, my mom was with Denis Coderre last election, and people voted in Plante. People voted in Trump in the States. People voted in François Legault.
Yeah.
So I think it's the year of change. People were fed up even in Canada, and we'll say, is it 2019 the federal election?
Yeah, I believe so.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
The change, I think, is the common theme
Yeah.
I've noticed. People don't.
I wonder why. I wonder
I
why.
don't know why. I think I think with Trump and Legault, maybe some people felt forgotten.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of the Anglophones said the Liberals forgot us. They're not. They were not there for us.
Yeah, and again, it feels very not neutral, bland, almost cardboard. Like a lot of people, when they think of politics in Quebec and Canada, it feels like it's like whoever they choose, it's not going to change drastically from day to day. It's not going to affect their lives.
Yeah,
you know what I
true.
mean?
That's true.
And I feel like I get that, but now it also seems like they're like, no, we've had it.
Yeah, we've had it up there.
Which apparently they have had it.
But I think Quebec Solidaire is, you have to look at them in a couple of years. Because, I'll tell you why, they got Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois, who used to be with the PQ. And Manon Massé, it's a woman. It's, there's not a lot of, as you see, female leaders. So I think maybe in 4 years, that will be the one to watch. But I'm sure Quebec Solidaire didn't do, too shy. They're relatively...
Do we know how many seats they have, the Quebec Solidaire?
6. 7, actually.
Wow, okay.
7.
And, they're relatively new, I think.
They've been around since 2006.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not like the
But
PQ,
in terms of actually getting up there,
exactly.
Like the PQ.
Exactly. Or the Liberals.
No, and that's it's interesting to see the social evolution of the province.
That's true.
And because I feel like this is it's resonating what people think and feel, right? I mean, it's people vote, and especially I was looking at the stats from the last 3 elections. Except for 2008, where it was 54%, which is the lowest turnout in 70 years.
Wow.
The last 2 elections hovered around 70%,
wow.
75%, which I think is a lot.
Yeah, big difference.
I don't know. In the U.S., what are the average numbers? They're low, no?
They were low. I don't know in 2016.
So my point is that people are voting, and that this is the voice of the people, essentially. I mean, it's democracy working, and it's nice to see, even if I don't personally agree with one opinion over another, but it's just nice to see that people exercising their right and changing things when they're stagnant.
Yeah.
Again, if you're just starting to watch, the CAQ have won the majority for the Quebec elections. Crazy stuff.
Crazy.
And I say crazy only because they won so quickly. It was projected so quickly.
Yeah, very.
I think a lot of people sort of expected it.
That the CAQ would win, or that it would come in quickly?
The
CAQ I knew, but when I heard within the 20-minute range, when my mom was in politics, an hour and a half, 2 hours, but 20 minutes, I don't know why.
So how do you think, again, just based on your knowledge, how do you see the next, let's say, year playing out?
Well, I think that the fact that he's a businessman, there's going to be a pro-business agenda.
Okay.
Because they do want to build, an economy in Quebec, businesses. They want them to stay in Quebec. They don't want them to go to Toronto.
No.
I think...
Which I think is huge.
It's very huge, actually. It's a very big problem, believe it or not.
Yep.
My father's in business and our friends. Very big problem, but I think that people will not resonate with that you have to take the 3-year exam, that a commissioner, are they going to start going in restaurants, hot dog is not friend. It's very time consuming for, I don't know, and they're going to ship you to Ottawa, I think, so. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's not like...
But you know what, and I'm curious to see the first time that happens, because I mean, we're not going to see it for 3 years.
4 years. Well, they're not.
And that's assuming that they're going to be around for the next...
Of course.
So I'm curious to see... 3.5 years from now, are people going to take to the streets? The first person that doesn't know French, is that going to be the martyr for people that are immigrants?
I think it's counterproductive that they're forcing you. Someone who's forced usually will not do it. An Anglophone or an immigrant who comes here who's forced to do it. They have to find a better way to market it. It is an advantage that we have French here.
100%.
I don't see it as a
as a disadvantage, and I fully agree.
Huge advantage.
For me, it was a pain in the ass when I was in school.
Yeah.
Because I knew in high school that if I had to do the same classes in English, my grades would be 10 to 20% better.
Yeah.
But I still did it in French.
Well.
And I'm kind of glad that I did, because at least now I speak both languages.
Of course.
Right? And I'm grateful that I do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I personally believe that 3 years is enough time to learn a language. But as I was saying earlier, you don't know the circumstances that could limit somebody from learning that language as well as, or to the degree that they need to learn it.
Of course.
You know?
That's true. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Like, is there a right answer to this? Because that's the thing. I understand the concept of trying to preserve language and a culture.
Yeah,
I fully get it. And I went through my own thing with Quebec with the like Law 101
Yeah.
and learning this and learning that and the forcedness of it. And I think I sort of grew to understand what's going on and why people are angry, and I get it. But I feel like the way that it's being gone about is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that there's a better way, a less
Of
like
course.
I don't know, because a lot of people love the French culture.
Yeah,
like
Les
a lot of
Francophonie,
people. Oh my
so
god!
many festivals.
I think that's the key. The key
Yeah.
is find a way to ingrain yourself in pop culture.
Exactly.
Find a way to do festivals. Get people
course.
excited about it. Don't have a commissioner that comes by and knocks on your window and says, "Hey,
Hot dog.
pasta c'est pas français."
I know.
Like-
I think that that we do have a lot of à l'international directors.
Yeah.
If they promote it like that, there's a lot of francophone French speaking that are directors
Yeah.
in cinema, artists. We do have an advantage. The way they're implementing it. If I did not speak French, I probably would not
Yeah.
make the effort. But maybe on the other end, they'll say, I'm here, I have 3 years to learn it. It's a double-edged sword, right? I have to learn it or else I'm going back to the States, or back to
And here's the other thing, right?
wherever.
Again, I understand there's the culture aspect of it, but you can just go to Toronto, you can go to Vancouver,
Yeah.
you can go to whatever, and you're still getting the Canadian experience there. And I feel like that's almost like not fair. Like I almost want to look at Quebec and go like, fuck man, it's not cool that
It's
they're
not.
stealing our people.
No. But you have to look at it like this, Alex. Someone buys a house,
Yeah.
are they going to move in 3 years? If an immigrant comes
Yeah.
here, buys a house, settles, has
Yeah.
the mortgage for 25 years, they're going to learn, they're going to do everything to learn the French
Yeah.
before the 3 years.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to relocate.
It
You
is.
have a house,
it
a
is.
condo,
Kids or whatever.
you
Yeah.
sell it, and then restart your life somewhere else.
Yeah.
I have a friend from Boston. She has to take her test. I think the test is already implemented. No, she told me she has to take some kind of test.
I'm sure there is
It's
a test.
4 years
Yeah.
she's here, and
But I don't think they ship you out.
no, but I'm saying there's some kind of
There's
test.
yeah.
Okay, so it exists.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's
For me, it's not so much the test, and I actually like the fact.
yeah,
Was it them or there was another party that was going to pay you to take tests, which I thought was interesting.
yeah, that's interesting.
But,
That I didn't know about.
The fact that they're providing the tests for free
Yeah,
is invaluable. I think that's the best. Like I'm trying to look at the positive in this.
of course.
That for me is the most positive because they're
Mhm.
saying we'll figure it out.
yeah, come here, we'll.
And I think I think like even though I don't agree with the whole shipping out and the aggressiveness of it, I really appreciate the CAC trying to get you to learn as much as possible.
Yeah,
Like they're trying to get you to learn.
that's true. That,
They're not saying you have to know the language before you get here, which is
No.
it could have been.
yeah, it could've
You
been.
know,
I don't know how that would have worked.
I don't know. Well, they would have made a test at the beginning, and if you can't take it, you can't come in.
Well, like the other guy said, there a lot of French immigrants are coming in already. I don't know if there's many from Anglophone speaking. Mostly
From Anglophone, well, I
Maybe
think
the
less,
States.
but I think for it's no, they're Anglophone. But if I'm not mistaken, they're usually selected. They have to be able to speak English, but they also have to be bringing in a certain amount of capital as well. I think it's
Oh,
tied
really?
to money.
So what happens if someone goes to study at Concordia? They have to have a certain amount of capital.
No, if they're going to study at Concordia, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
It's
huh?
to immigrate.
Okay. Misunderstood.
Yeah, let me pull up. There was something you were saying interesting about was it kindergarten immigration? No. Identity and sovereignty. I'm missing one here.
You know what Legault said? I
Tell
wanted to tell you fast. At
Tell
the
me,
debate,
tell
he
me.
said bonjour, hi, and the Anglophones can say hi if they want. That was a huge talking point, just
Yeah.
to say. Whereas the other one said it has to be bonjour, all the other three.
And you know what? That is a balanced version of what the PQ could have been. And
Yeah.
it's interesting. No, but it's interesting to see because what is Quebec? Quebec is Anglophones
Yeah.
and Francophones and everybody in between.
True.
And by saying that, the main are English and French. But by saying that, you're showing that you're open to dialogue, which I
Of
feel
course.
like maybe the Liberals were alienating the Francophones and the PQ were alienating the Anglophones.
Anglophones, yeah,
And
of course.
the CAC are sort of saying, hey, look, I get
in
it.
the middle.
I get it. All right? This is the best that we can do.
Mm.
And again, I'm objective in all this based on the facts that I saw here. Look, again, day to day, my life's not going to change,
No.
right? And I think about that, and I think about why a lot of people maybe feel like it doesn't really matter. Most people that live in Canada or in Quebec that are born here, they don't think about that stuff. Or that speak both languages, they don't think about that stuff. They take it for granted.
True.
They take it for granted. And they don't see, it's like a bubble that cuts off where it's like, I don't really need to concern. I know that it's there, but I don't really need to. It doesn't take part of my life.
If the PQ won, would it have changed your life?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Not in a major way, but in enough little ways that it would compound and I would start to feel it.
Will we separate when we maybe something along those lines.
It's and again, not to compare anything to Trump, but it gives a voice to a certain demographic of people, a certain population, right?
That's true.
And I'm not saying that the PQ is Trump. I'm saying that you never know what the outcome can be, and then just the concept of separating can start becoming a popular topic, and then it starts rolling and rolling and rolling. You don't know what's going to happen, right?
You don't know.
And you know what? Maybe there's some alternate universe where we've separated, and it actually turns out that it's great. But I don't see that happening here.
I don't, but it's if they would have won, it would have been obviously an issue on their campaign. Because that's ultimately what they want. Yeah. I don't know if Quebec Solidaire is in the middle. I don't know if they want to separate Quebec Solidaire.
Yeah, they were here. Let me pull this up real quick.
I think
they were talking about. I'm gonna pull up their. Was it economy? Quebec Solidaire, transportation, education.
The next 2 years will be crazy. We have the federal, and then we have the American election the year after, 2020. So
crazy. What do you think for the federal?
Federal, I think Justin Trudeau. He's a good-looking guy. A lot of people. Well, it's true. He takes selfies, but a lot of people think that he lacks. He's more of a rock star.
Yeah.
He has to put it a bit. He has to tone it down, the rock starness a bit. I think some people like him. Some don't. The youth like him because he legalized in October. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it could be maybe people think he takes too much place. Similar to what happened to Kader, by the way. A lot of people heard through the grapevine he took too much place, too much Mr. Kodak. Some people like that. Some people don't. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that? Because I feel like in Canada, provincially, there's a lot more control.
Yeah.
There's a lot of control by province to province, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I'm curious, to do the little comparison between Trudeau and Trump, right? It almost feels like on a global scale.
Good beer, sorry.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? On a global scale, I feel like it, right now, it almost helps to have that face.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's a good thing. It might even be damaging, but I'm just saying in the sense that, like you said, it gets people out voting and it gets people to even know who our prime minister is, right?
Yes, true.
People know who we are.
Yeah.
Canada, I think on a global scale right now is doing pretty well. It's popular. It's popular
absolutely.
in Canada.
I have to agree.
Now, is that a good thing that it's because Trudeau is kind of flashy and Trump is kind of doing his thing and it's a show? It's all a show?
I think Trudeau, people like him because he stood up to Trump even when he shook his hand.
Yeah.
He was very firm. And also with NAFTA till I think this morning he didn't cave in.
No.
So I think that's good. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. People know. If you go anywhere in the world, people want to be Swiss or Canadian, from what I've noticed.
It's true.
It's true. You know, if you see
straight up. Or you have the flag on your bag when you're traveling. Everyone is nice to you. Oh, where are you from? Alberta? I've been to Alberta.
Yeah, so I think, no, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying some people, similar to Kader, they think he's too much. Some people like more a politician to be a politician, a rock star, a celebrity.
Yep.
So I don't know, but some people like that because he put us back on the map.
That's it.
People know
That's it. Back on the map. All right. So closing comments. CAC. They're the majority. Good thing or bad thing?
Good thing. I want to see them do something for small business, young entrepreneurs, and the Anglophones. That's my three.
And within the next year, you think we're going to start seeing some stuff?
I think so. I think they need to loosen up a bit on the severity of their French laws. And it's not a bad thing, but just make it a bit less.
You think there might be some blowback from that?
A lot of blowback.
Yeah.
Like you said, a family that comes here and let's say has kids, they might not be able to learn it in 3. It's hard to learn a language. Some people speak 20 years and they don't speak fluent. Yeah. Some people speak 6 months and they're fluent. Everyone has different levels. So, roll it back just a bit. Not a bad thing, but just tone it down a bit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. No problem.
Let's get that picture back up here. The CAC have won the majority. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right. Pull me back. Bring me back. Take me home, country road. All right, guys. Yeah, we initially planned for a 3-hour show tonight, but we might have to cut it short at about 2 hours just because the CAC won the majority. I didn't expect that to happen so quickly. We burst through our guest speakers, which were super interesting. One specialized in economics, one was a man of the people, and one got a one-on-one with all the candidates. And it gave me different perspectives on a lot of what went down tonight. I didn't know much about it before tonight, other than the basics. I'll be completely honest. I did a lot of research today. A lot of the platforms were very, very interesting, and I almost feel like, as I said before, I feel like it's the media that'll spin the most controversial topic, and then a lot of their undercard will never make it to the top. And so, for next time, just educate yourselves, because there's a lot that goes into it, and it's homework, but it's important to do. I hope a lot of you voted. If you did, the CAC won. You were part of that. If your riding lost who you voted for, this is democracy at work. And for better or worse, this is what the majority decided was good for the province. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next year, over the next few months, over the next few weeks, how people are going to react. I don't think it's going to be too extreme, but as we were talking about, there's talk of, an extreme way of conditioning people to learn French that are immigrants, and also just appointing a commissioner to the Office de la Langue Française that's going to be very strict, and that's going to take everyone's complaints about anything that is anti-francophone or that is not compliant with French. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But I honestly just want to say thank you guys for watching tonight. I love you. Give us a like on Facebook, and follow me on Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube, and leave me a comment. I want to know what you think about the CAC winning. Is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? What do you think this means for the future of Quebec? What do you think this means for the future of Canada? Is this going to be impactful in any way, or is it not even going to matter? Is tomorrow going to just be another Monday tonight, or is tomorrow going to be another Tuesday? Let me know, and I'm curious, and I'll get back to you guys on the next comment roundup. Have a good night. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow for a regular episode of Anchorman Canada. Take it easy, everybody.
CAC wins, CAC wins.
CAC wins, CAC wins, CAC wins, CAC wins.